a cheers to episode 81.
Oh my gosh, getting my whacking.
That is kind of reckless considering.
You have a big weekend.
I got a big weekend coming up where I'm going to have to drink a lot, so
Coffee.
got to start now.
I got water.
Johnny Walker Black.
Do not hurt me. Please.
Garrett poured it and said, you need it for the show.
He does encourage us to drink during these.
He did fill up my wine glass a couple times, and then now I'm finishing with this.
Oh my God,
buzzed,
you might say some ignorant things.
Nobody do.
Welcome on in to the number one sports podcast in the state of Michigan. Tonight is Wednesday, July 27th, time of recording 8:15 p.m. And congrats to you guys. You survived another year of Faster Horses. You made it onto this show, which is really, at this stage in our life, all you can ask for. Survive in advance.
Monday off is huge. I mean, it's huge.
Monday off is probably the greatest thing you could do for your body and for your soul, for your mind. If you don't take Monday off after Faster Horses, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Safely say I'll never not take it off again.
I never will. I will.
I mean,
hands up,
it's life-altering.
It is. I think the best thing to do is just chugging water, sleeping in, waking up, chugging water, taking a nap, and then starting your day around like noon, 1 o'clock. I felt more busy on my day off than I did actually if I went to work, though.
Speaking of that, Ivan, when I went out there Monday, I still have all your stuff.
Yeah, you left. I told you I'll pick it up after league, and you left.
I screamed out your name at league, and I just didn't hear any response.
Well, we know Alex is known to leave early from league, left Evan hanging the week before.
I certainly did not leave early from league. We played several extra holes after a pounding that took place.
Oh. You shot your handicap. It was your partner that did them.
You didn't shoot your handicap out.
Correct. I'm not good at golf.
Oh, we're back on that. This week's show, no, it was perfect. Weekly check-ins will be Faster Horses dominant college football talk. We're going to talk about both Michigan and Michigan State's offenses preview going into this season of football. And then we're going to wrap it up with a listener suggestion. The breakfast food snake draft will be happening this show. It's going to be loaded. Form of egg, 1 meat, 1 side dish, 1 sweet item, 1 beverage. I'm sure it'll be great. At Shot of MS, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, any social account, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, how you listen. So this is how I want to do it. I think it'll be easiest. I'll just quickly do my weekend recap, and then we will dive into Faster Horses, some more details, some questions I have for you guys. For me, I didn't do a ton. It rained here in Minnesota on Saturday. I plan to go explore a little bit. There's a lot of cool nature areas from what I've heard because the Mississippi River starts up here. So I was like, oh, let's go see where the Mississippi River starts. Let's see if there's anything cool just to walk around. It dumped. Saw some cool lightning strikes though. The only two really takeaways I had of just things I realized was Alex used to tell me from his commute to work in Southfield from our hometown of just you get so used to the same drive that you become almost reckless sometimes of when you're going to get off on your exit because, you'll be like, oh, 2 miles away from my exit, I should probably just get in the right lane and chill. But when you do the drive enough, you'll be swerving over with 0.3 miles left because you're so used to it. That has fully happened to me. The time that I now realize you have left miles-wise to get off on your exit comfortably has drastically shrunk in my life. So I will for now ever be flying in the left lanes. Not recklessly, but then, half a mile to go. All right, we still got plenty of time to get over and get off. It's just, you just get in a rhythm. And then it leads me to my second point. People out here kind of drive a little slower is what I've noticed. On a 3-lane, 4-lane highway, the middle lane, the second from left lane even will be going 65 and a 70. So it's I'm going 75, 77 and just flying by people, feeling that I'm a target for the cops. So it makes me a little nervous, but just an observation I've noticed. But yeah, Alex, if there's anything you like to say, because I know you remember you telling me about that, about how exits really work and how much time you have left.
I just got to the point after a while where you get to work and you're like, how did I get here? I don't really remember. I swerve all around. You just get so comfortable knowing when the exit is, and I've cut off some semis and some cars before. There's no doubt. Yeah, you just get comfortable. Probably too comfortable. So Grant, be safe, man.
Yeah, no, great point. Be attentive. No looking down at your phone. All right. Faster Horses sold out. The party of the summer, as they call it. Where do you guys want to start? Memorable moments, favorite moments, worst moments?
Where do we start?
I think you just go straight in order, day by day.
What is
Thursday?
Go ahead, Grant. You have a question.
Ask your questions.
What would you guys say is like the alcohol that you consume the most of?
I mean,
Evan's is very simple
Busch
answer
Light.
because he drank one thing only, and Jello shots.
Yeah,
And whatever somebody handed me, I would drink it. But what I personally brought was strictly only Busch Light.
You consume the most Busch Light that weekend of like any type of drink.
Oh yeah, wasn't even close.
I brought 70 or so beverages, and they were a mixed bag. I drank all of them. So, well, a couple Coronas were left on Sunday.
Damn.
Yeah.
Thursday,
But-
you get there. You set up shop.
Yeah, Thursday, tents, canopies. You
Not
name
really
it.
that long of a line to wait.
Rainstorm?
Got in really fast, honestly. No, the rainstorm didn't hit when we got there because apparently the rainstorm caused people to, what my mom was telling me on Monday was that they were backed up sitting on the road for like 6 hours because of the severe weather coming in, and the people that did not get into their campsites in time before this had to sit out on the road for several hours.
Because
Luckily,
they
it did not happen to us.
Yeah, they made the gate workers go inside to shelter, so no one was like checking gates. So you just had to sit on the road.
Oh, I did not know
is
that.
brutal.
Wait, so no storm hit when you guys were already set up?
No, we got set up Thursday.
and drank for quite a decent amount before any. I mean, honestly, the severe weather didn't really happen.
Oh, okay.
No, it never did. It thundered and lightning got super dark around us, and
It rained
never hit
for
us. It sprinkled for 20 minutes.
10 minutes, and then we put up the canopy and we're like, we're fine. And then we went to the infield.
There's just boozing.
Boozing. Evan and I, we spoke about it, Grant, before the show. We agreed on a set number. The number was achieved. The number was
First
passed.
house, we got to meet a very nice lady named Brittany.
Shout out Brittany from Tennessee, right?
Yep, from Tennessee, mother of 5.
Mother of 5 came up to a campsite of young adults.
Probably mother of 6 after this weekend.
Couldn't talk. couldn't speak. Couldn't get her to leave. She was just so plastered she couldn't talk.
She was on multiple things, I guarantee it. She was on multiple
So she had to
things.
be on some drugs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Felt bad for her husband, who eventually came and got her. It was very awkward. It's very uncomfortable.
I'm just
like the
picturing
main
the
highlight of
husband
Thursday.
coming up to your guys' campsite and like grabbing her and being like, "Hey, babe, we gotta go."
It was weird.
But they still
I'll
had
be
like
completely
a stage.
honest. Thursday night, I don't remember a whole lot of it.
No, I barely remember leaving. Like,
I don't
leaving our
remember.
campsite to go to the infield.
I remember
don't
leaving the
remember
campsite
walking
because
back.
Evan was like, "You know what, guys? This is probably like 12:30, 1."
No idea.
And Evan's like, "You know what, guys? We're going to the infield." I'm like, all right. And then we just went. And then after that, it's pretty fuzzy.
You just like roamed around.
Went to,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And then I think I came back alone. And then Evan was 30 minutes behind me. And then the off the podcast story we already discussed. Unless Evan wants to tell the people.
I mean, I don't care. You can tell anybody. You can tell
You
the
should,
story.
Evan.
No,
You should tell the people.
It's all
It's
right.
Thursday, if we get back. Don't know how we got back, but we're back.
We made it back.
Yes. I don't remember crawling into the tent. I don't remember laying down. I don't remember how any of this happened. I simply don't remember. I'm sharing a tent with Alex. More room for activities outside if we have less tents. Okay. Next thing I know, my head is spinning. The tent is going like a tornado, and I wake up. There's zippers. I can see them. There's like a window in the tent, obviously, and I'm like undoing it, trying to undo it.
Trying.
Go to left side.
Trying is a crucial
Zip it.
word here.
Nothing. Go to the right side. Zip it. Nothing. What does my body instantly do? Go back to the left side. Nothing. I'm just panicking. I'm freaking out, panicking. I can't get the tent open. I can't do it. I can't do it. Eventually, I realized, hey, maybe the zipper's on the bottom, and I'm just on the ground. Just I find the zipper, just pry it open, and just stick half my body out. And I probably did that 2 or 3 times during the middle of the night. Got up, walked around, rinsed out my mouth. I don't even know where I walked to. Alex said I was gone for an hour. I couldn't tell you how long I was gone for.
It was a long time.
Yep. Woke up at what I thought would be like 8:30, 9 o'clock. No, it is 7 a.m.
Oh,
we woke up at 7 on Friday morning at Faster Horses and didn't go back to bed.
You slept for like 4 hours, and you have nothing left in your body. I was like, you know what? I don't feel too terrible. You know,
you're drained.
I'm gonna go take a disgusting shower in the mobile showers.
Oh,
did that?
No.
Came back and I was like, wow, you feel like crap. Slept on the ground outside.
On the ground in the middle of all of our chairs.
I was there first.
I remember seeing that photo.
Yeah. And then
no hair on the dog for Evan.
Yeah, it just didn't get better Friday. Shout out Corm, happy birthday. His birthday was Friday. Big 2-1.
Oh, that's a good time.
Big 2-1.
So Friday, what are we looking at? Getting ready, preparing yourselves for Morgan Wallen.
Yes. Hot
Friday
scorcher.
Was one of the longest days of my life.
It was a scorcher. Just humid because of like the local thunderstorms.
Hot.
Get in there around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And there's already people waiting in line. They did change one thing this year. The VIP section has their own private front row. So like general admission can't get to the front row on the right side.
Oh.
Not bad. So we're like third or fourth, like rows back of people. And technically now it's like 8 to 10. Still super close. Basically just put in a whole shift of standing and waiting.
Yeah, that's like
8 to 10 out. Well,
hand up.
8 hours.
I didn't make it.
Oh, we were getting bodied.
I got
Just
to the point.
Bodied.
So Evan did not get back on the horse on Friday. I
did have a drink. Yes, I did. I did have a drink.
With Grant gone, felt that I needed to carry vibes. So I did get back on the horse. During Jordan Davis.
Thank you for your service.
Two away, right? Jake Owen and then Morgan Wallen.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of Jordan Davis, they start playing rowdy music. And I swear to God, when Jordan Davis ended, like it felt like 20,000 people pushed forward. And I was just all of a sudden, I could not move. Started spinning. I was like going in and out. I'm like, I'm going to black out like somebody else did last year in the middle of this crowd if I don't leave. And I'm like, no, you can do it. You can do it. And I'm sitting there. My eyes are like closing, like pop down, get back up. Don't feel any better. Start spinning. I'm like, oh my God, can't do it. So I stood that long, 4 hours, 4+ hours, and then walked out before Jake Owen. And watch the rest of the concert somewhere else.
Just kind of farther
because
away.
It just got that crowded. It was insane. I couldn't even move. Evan was like, felt like he was like under my armpit. I felt like I was just like suffocating him. People were just like doing, everyone was doing the wobble. So everyone's dancing amid already not being able to move. And I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever experienced.
Did you ever just like let's just lean into it? Like, let's dance crazily.
I did everything. I tried everything. I was just moving people. Spreading my arms, nothing. Just people were just collapsing on me. I felt like at that moment I was like, I gotta leave. So I did. And I did leave with someone in our group that's like 4'11" and who couldn't see anyways. So
buddy system, stick together.
The worst people of every single concert. The worst people.
I did yell at a group of like 6'5" dudes. For some reason they respected me and didn't want to do anything about it. And they actually just let me go past them.
Wow.
A bunch of people tried to cut in front of us.
Like those people.
3 hours after we had been standing there.
Or the people that had, like, you could just hear them talking behind you. We have to get to the front row. We have to get to the front row for Morgan Wallen. It's like, are you the only people at this concert that think that they have to get to the front row?
We had let several people in front of us.
You are not entitled to anybody.
Last year, one of the most proud things I've ever done in my entire life was when Marissa and I on Sunday got up to you, Evan, in the Jason Aldean group because what you had to do is, well, thankfully Tracy Lawrence was an absolute snooze fest before him. So what we did was at the start of Tracy Lawrence's set, which goes at least like 45 minutes, we were like back. And I was like, we are just going to slowly move into gaps when people leave because he's so bad. And we did. We just long played it, like just sneakily, stealthily moved up until we got to like the last 3 rows. And then Evan had his classic line to get us in. He was like, hey, that's my girlfriend. And everyone was like, oh, part the seas, let him through. But yes,
everybody was saying this weekend, we got so fed up that people were like, dude, my girlfriend's up there. My cousin's up there. And we would be like, yeah, we don't care.
Dude. So what happened? These dudes. So we've already been passed by enough people. And everybody knows I have small anger issue.
Yeah, okay? Just a small one.
Yeah. So I snapped a little and I'm like, this dude comes up and he's like, bro, my cousin's right there. Well, we know those girls. And me and Evan are in the back and all our friends are way up in front of us because we've already been passed by a million people. So I just look at this dude. I'm like, where are you trying to go? Like, what are you trying to do? He just looks at me. He's like, dude, just chill out. Like, I know those people. And I looked at the girls like, you don't know each other. You don't know each other at all. And they're like, oh, well, that's my cousin. I'm like, no, you don't know him. And then I just started like going full snap. And I just started yelling at him. And then these dudes are huge. They would have kicked our ass. Like, no problem. And I was just yelling at him. And they just got super quiet. And the girl's like, well, do you want to go in front of us and get back to your friends? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do. And we just passed all of them. And then they just talked a bunch of shit behind me the whole time. But somehow, you just stand up for yourself. Sometimes it works out. But I did snap. I couldn't stand all the entitled people behind me.
Take away from the crowd experience. Jake Owen, Electric Factory. Morgan Wallen.
No shoes.
Bigger Electric Factory. Mike Posner came out on the stage for Jake Owen, and somebody on this podcast didn't get to see it.
I did not see it. I did not see Mike Posner. I heard the performance wasn't good anyway, so I'm not super mad.
He's slower rendition of it, but it was still electric for having Mike Posner come out and sing every single word for the song.
What I can speak on is Jake Owen was a very good performer, and Morgan Wallen was fantastic.
Yes.
It sounded
and worth
like
the price of admission.
It sounded like Friday was the main event like we thought, and that kind of leads me, I saw a lot of EC Eric Church slander.
Okay, so
Eric
Saturday
Church
first
stinks.
Saturday.
He stinks.
Saturday tailgate was fun.
Good time during the day. We didn't go in until what? Like
we were late for Brothers
6?
Osborne.
Yeah.
I don't make sense. Yeah, we saw the last 2 songs of Brothers Osborne.
It's like 7.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, it wasn't that late, but yeah. Brothers Osborne performed for like 3 hours, it felt like.
Electric. They're so good.
So Eric Church came on, and you had some popular songs. Everybody knows the lyrics too. But he was a complete, just utter snooze fest.
Dude, he's the most boring performance I've ever. It was the most boring performance I've ever seen. Nico Moon, shout out you. You had the worst performance of Fast and Horses.
If it wasn't for Nico Moon, Eric Church would have the worst performance.
No Nico Moon love. He's got 2 good songs.
But they were bad.
He was awful, Grant.
He was horrendous.
He was awful.
What about it? Just didn't sound good?
I mean, you can't sing. You can't dance.
Was that on Friday? You guys were in that early?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not going up anytime.
He was the first one we saw, and I was like, oh my God, this is awful.
Eric Church was slow, yeah.
I'm just picturing you guys seeing Nico Moon. It's like 3:30, and it's setting in like you're going to be staying in the same spot until like 8 hours from now, and you're like, oh my God. You're like just baking. It's like...
And I got to watch people like this perform.
It's impossible to go get like a water or a beer if you want it, because you're not going to be able to get back to this point.
Damn. But Eric Church, performance-wise, just stands there, maybe walks around a little. He walked into the crowd. He ruined Springsteen. Wasn't a good rendition.
Terrible rendition of Springsteen.
Every time they say Springsteen, when he sings it, in real life on the song, he was going, Springsteen! Oh my God, dude. It was awful.
Wow. Eric Church
This is the worst performance I've ever seen. He single-handedly killed the infield on Sunday.
Wow. Sunday, we pack up everything because we don't want to pack it up after the concert. We just pack everything up in the morning.
Smart.
I'm taking the tent down by 10 a.m. It's going down. This bad boy's coming down. And what else are we doing? We're
Shout out
sitting
Evan.
there.
He got the hut going. then we went back to the canopy, sat back around it, and then we're like, do we just want to put everything in the truck and just go to the infield?
I
And
said
like,
yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. And
So we went to the
packed
infield
again.
to party. Great time, drank, showed up to the infield to see somebody, but he wasn't at his campsite. You're not in his
Boss.
you're not home.
We're just
You're
gonna
not
say
home right
hi to the
now. Oh,
world.
yeah, gee!
Whoa, a cameo. Look at
Oh,
this.
hi, Em.
You can
This
talk.
is
Is
wholesome
this going to be on
content.
the pod?
This is
Yeah.
on the podcast. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're
I'm going to...
How was your weekend, Em?
Hey,
Well,
guys.
She can't
So
hear
right
us,
now I'm
Alex.
pounding Greek yogurt because the Gillens have horrible heartburn. And I had a shot of Crown Royal, and I literally can't breathe. So I'm pounding Greek yogurt.
Anything else?
That's all I wanted to say.
All right. That's
Tell
it.
Emily we say good luck on her next adventure.
Grant said, good luck on your next adventure in life.
Thank you.
No, she said thank you, Mom. We're good. This is
We
what
got
happens
it.
when you're recording.
We got
with
it.
MC.
We got it.
It turned out to be a very fantastic time. Just chill, relax.
We booze cruised first time.
We did booze cruise. We got yelled at by some random dad to sit down in the back of our
Jeep Gladiator,
Gladiator.
cruise down the infield.
Oh,
So like
In the
everybody
back.
was driving around just like in the back of the trucks, just like taking in the scenes. And like some of these trucks had like 10, 15 people in the back.
yeah.
Okay, this Gladiator had
5,
4.
4.
Me, you,
4. Cody, Page in the front.
me, you, Joe, Cormac,
Cormac.
and Ryan. So there was 5 of us in the back.
Yeah.
And
Just
this
booze
dad,
cruising.
we were driving by, and this dad puts on his hazards, and he's like, "Hey, you guys can't be sitting on the edge of your truck." What?
It's just like it's not even a cop. It's just a dad.
Yeah,
Just like a
he was
dude in,
driving
like,
a Ford Explorer.
A
Yeah, I was
wannabe
gonna say,
cop.
Like a sedan or something.
Let's put his license plate out there.
Yeah, but the
Let's go
infield
find
was
this guy.
dead. There was barely any
The
parties.
infield
barely
was
any
killed
drinking.
by Eric Church.
This was like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And
It was a stunning sight.
Eric Church had killed the infield. R.I.P. Faster Horses infield 2013 to 2022. Death by Eric Church
Eric
music.
Church. Eric Church killed the
It's just
infield.
funny when you guys say it like that.
But don't
Yes.
worry, Cole Swindell and Tim McGraw revived the life of Faster Horses.
Yeah, Cole Swindell would have been so cool to see every single one of his performances.
Unfortunately,
Okay, so
we got
somebody
ourselves
in
in
our
a
group,
situation.
Wait. Did he play that new song like Heads Carolina?
Yeah,
That's one of my
he
favorite
did.
songs right
now
now.
we
Such
were
a-
there in for that. So
Such a good track.
we're with a group of people. One of the guys in our group says, "Hey, I really want to go in and see Cole Swindell." Not a problem. Okay, it's Sunday night. We can go
Evan
in.
and I have seen Cole Swindell before.
We have.
Yeah,
Let's
but,
go, let's
but
go
he's,
in.
like,
Like,
he's the lead
he's
up.
good,
He's
though.
second. You
We're
got to give
already in
credit
the
for that.
infield.
He's very
We're
good.
already in the infield, and this guy hasn't told us. Is basically lying to his teeth. Let's just make a stop by the bar, the same bar
I
that we
know
went to
girls
Thursday
there.
night.
I know
The
girls
bar.
there.
Oh, okay. CT.
And
CT.
I was thinking, and I thought he was joking. If you know this kid, you're like, okay, yeah, okay, whatever. We make a stop there.
Joke,
we
right?
walk around, and it turns in to me and Alex freaking
Chaperoning.
chaperone field trip time. Everybody signed their permission slips, turn them into Alex and I because we jump on a board. We're gonna be late into the concert.
Needless to say, yeah, there were some barely graduated high school people there.
Uh-huh. So
No
you guys were
names.
like daddy daycare camp.
And
Was
Evan and I were
very
just sitting there. So, someone did provide us shots to make it
Yes,
more bearable.
we got free shots.
That was appreciated.
They were
um,
very.
Would be
know what was
familiar
in
with
it.
the person. That should help you, Grant.
But all in
But,
all, it was
yeah.
a fun time. Got into the
Tim McGraw
concert a
was
little
really
late.
good.
Tim McGraw
Cole
was
Swindell
good.
great.
He was.
Tim McGraw was
He
fantastic.
very good.
Wow.
If you didn't
supposed to
like
go in
him,
at
you're a loser.
9:30. Here's what's going at 9:30.
9:21.
9:20 hits. I'm out there. Just also when the lights turned off and he's out there 9:20. 10 minutes early. Let's get the show on the road.
Like Tom Coughlin time.
Yes. And so in our group chat, we were making fun of Aaron Rodgers. Tim McGraw wore that same exact outfit Sunday night.
Same exact one.
It's quite the fit.
All you have to do is just put a black cowboy hat, and that was Tim McGraw. But fantastic. You basically know like 95% of his songs. He played a couple of songs like way back when that
kind of
Not that
forgot how many
people know.
songs of his I knew. I was like, oh wow,
Yes,
I've
very
haven't
popular.
heard this song in a long time.
Love
And
the
then
Blind
he
Side.
did like a four song encore.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I also told Evan at Fast Versus I have a gripe. Why do people do encores? Why do they do that? They're planned now.
We talked about this last year. Remember, there was kind of a subtweet because Jason Aldean says, I don't believe in that encore. I play my hits. And
Did he
Luke-
not? I didn't see it, man.
Remember Luke Combs Friday night did not play Beer Never Broke My Heart and then like came out right away, didn't even wait for an encore chant. And it was kind of like both headliners, Jason Aldean saying like, that's soft.
These encores are now like fully planned. They're not encores. They're like part of the script of the show.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
just
the
like,
worst.
why
It's
do we
the
do
worst.
that? Like,
It's dumb.
everybody knows when you just walk off and say you don't say thank you to the crowd, you're coming back.
Or haven't played
You haven't played
like,
your 3
platinum
hit songs yet, Morgan Wallen. We know you're coming back out.
Yeah. You know who plays all their hits and doesn't do an encore? Keith
Jason
Urban.
Aldean.
Keith Urban. That guy just runs
God,
it. And
that
you
guy's
guys,
a performer.
We
guys-
took him for granted the first year. I was a big Keith
You
Urban
really did.
hater, but I would have died if I could to see Keith Urban Saturday night.
Grant,
Wow.
I did a lot. Cormac and I really did a lot of Kenny or Keith for free chance.
Oh my god!
Okay.
A Saturday night, it was
I think-
going off left and right. We
Cormac
had
did
it
not
here.
know the chant correctly
No.
for a while though.
also
He kept
in
saying
one-
Toby Keith for free.
in one of his
Which
Snapchats,
isn't a bad deal.
it
Not a
said
bad deal.
Toby
It's all
Keith.
right.
Yeah.
But we were like, wait, Cormac, what are you saying? He's like, Toby Keith for free. We're like, no, that's not it. That isn't.
I have a couple questions to wrap a bow on it. So it sounds like you guys would both say best performance was Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
fantastic.
The lingering question that happens every year how did you guys feel about your age in relation to this? I know long listener of the podcast, Cody, kind of teased it out on Instagram. Like, are you guys did you walk away feeling too old for this, or do you think you have a couple more bullets left in the chamber?
I got more.
I have a full
I think I
clip.
can go.
I can
I think I got
reload a full
another
clip of
5
this
years.
bad boy.
I think I have 5 more years.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
I thought about it. There were some points where I was like, God, my feet hurt so bad, and I feel like my body is letting me down. But then I woke up Monday. I was like, God, that was a blast. I would love to do that again.
But still like full bore camping for like those.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
think
so
I'm
it's
still fully in for at least. I will be back next year unless the lineup is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Did you guys like your new camp spot, or will you be pushing for infield spots next year?
I honestly liked ours.
I really liked our camping spot. I like the
It's
exact location
really
of our camp spot. Of our camp spot, we got 2 of them right next to each other.
Yeah.
We had nobody to. If you're looking at our camp site, nobody
Bathrooms.
to our left. The bathrooms are right there, and they had like a strip. There was like a light pole, or there was just basically just a random pole there, so it was blocking off like a good chunk of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like pretty decent, like friendly neighbors next to us. So
And honestly, there was like everyone's like, oh, if you're not in the infield, like, there's like no young people around you. Everybody around us was young.
yeah,
So, and a lot of people just showed up and played games at our campsite, just like you would in the infield.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no, I like the spot.
We'll already be keeping our eyes on the
We have more in the tank, Grant, so we're welcoming you back.
2023 baby, faster
2023
horses.
lineup.
And you'll be
Yeah.
back. You can get work off by that point.
I hope to
anyway.
be back. I hope to be back. All right. Another Fast and Horses in the books. Now,
Shout
We
out to our
transition
campsite
to-
before we get started.
Yeah,
Shout out
shout
to
out
him.
everyone in the camp.
yeah.
And Evan and I played golf against each other on Monday, and we won 21.5 to 8.5, just so everyone knows.
Oh, I warmed up beforehand, and I shot phenomenal. I was like 2 over through like 7, 8 holes, 6 holes maybe. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna play this easy, and just stunk it up.
It's
The
tough.
Gillens fired in the 30s and just absolutely dominated to continue on their pursuit of winning
Garrett
this
shot
league.
2 over on the back 9 with 2 birdies.
Yeah, well,
It was his night, and I was sitting on 14 tee box, and I said, "It was
your partner
over."
didn't help you.
You were just along for the ride.
Yep.
All
By
right.
hole 5, Evan was about done.
Well, you have a built-in excuse of like, well, I guess you're playing against Alex, so you guys are both at Faster Horses. But if you weren't playing against Alex, you could be like, oh, Faster Hangover. Faster Horses Hangover.
No.
Good
You guys
time.
already talk some college football or what?
Yes, I am. Big
Right.
Ten
Well,
Media
you
Days.
can.
I'm like
You can
fully
talk for a while,
invested in the
Grant.
Big Ten Media Days because just been watching it, and I don't really care about half the people who've been talking. But I'm just ready for football.
Bro, how fat is Brett Bielema?
I have not seen
Dude,
seen anything. I'm excited.
It's alarming.
Chunky.
He's ginormous.
When he can't wear a windbreaker, it really stands out.
Dude, he's ginormous. He doesn't have a neck.
That's because he's watching so much film.
Dude,
so
he went to Arkansas and just ate a lot of pig suey, you know?
Yeah. What we're going to do is do Michigan's offensive preview first and Michigan State's offensive preview next. If people are wondering, like, why so specific, why starting July 27th? Well, over the weekend, I was like looking at last year's college football show. It was like 2.5 hours. And then I was breaking down like all the different ways we talked about our teams. And I'm like, okay, we did both sides of the ball. We did big picture. We did like week 1 previews. And I was like, all right, if we make each of those their own topic throughout the week, when should we start talking about college football? And it was this week. I was like, this will be perfect. We'll hit each. It's much better to linger it out, build excitement than all in one. So we'll be giving out kind of like little teases leading up to the season. And it starts with offense, the exciting part of the ball, unless you're a sicko like me last year and started enjoying Michigan's defense and not even caring about the offense. So a lot of changes here. I'm curious to see how you guys view it as the rival as well. But right now, we don't know who the offensive play caller is for Michigan football. There are 2 offensive coordinators. Matt Weiss, quarterback's coach, kind of came through the Raven system, I believe. NFL guy was going to go with Coach Harbaugh to the Vikings if he were to get that job. And then Sharon Moore, coach of the award for the best offensive lineman in the country last year. Again, no known playing caller at this time. That's a little strange. But Gaddis left. The offensive scheme should probably be pretty much intact from what they had. Like, I don't think they're going to reinvent the wheel. They know what they have. With that being said, we'll start position groups, and the question on everyone's mind, Cade or JJ. So I want to ask you guys before I say where I'm at right now as of July 27th. If you were the coach, who are you starting and why?
What year am I in my coaching?
You're Jim Harbaugh going into year 8, I think.
Then I'm starting JJ McCarthy.
Wow. The air.
Because I'm trying to win national championships, and Cade McNamara cannot do it.
Wow.
I'm just going to be short on that. Everybody knows why. And if you don't, watch the TV.
Who I would start or who I think is going to start?
You can do both.
Would start.
But first do who you would start.
I think Cade's going to start, by the way.
Who are you, Jim Harbaugh? Like, you know how he slaps their shoulder pads in their helmet? Who is Evan doing that to week 1 against Colorado State?
Colorado State, week 1. I'm doing that to Cade McNamara. He is the veteran. He is a winner. Has a winning record when he starts. Reigning Big Ten champion as the starting quarterback for the team. The only hoopla behind the kid is because he's a highly rated recruit. It's the only thing. And then who I think is going to start, based off of Jim's press conference, is Cade McNamara is going to start. Agreed. And I think the good thing is, good/bad, good thing is Michigan doesn't play anybody non-conference, so you're going to see both quarterbacks quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just when Jim's talking about Cade, how he's a leader, he was there at Big Ten Media Days. He was talking about how over 50% of Cade's drives lead into points. You don't just rattle off all these stats unless you know who your quarterback's going to be. And then he leads the press conference with somebody asks him who the quarterback competition. He says, Cade McNamara, the starting quarterback, is going to be very difficult to beat up. And then he pauses for a second, and then he says the same thing about JJ. He's saying Cade always first. He's always saying Cade first. I think he knows it's going to be Cade. And a weird deep part of me thinks like the veterans on the team also want Cade too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like if the locker room wanted JJ, I feel like he would go with the locker room. But Jim's a weird guy and he's an old classic guy. But
Donovan Edwards and Andrell Anthony want JJ, and the rest of the team wants Cade.
Potentially, yeah, they came in with him. But I think the more I think about like JJ, don't get me wrong, is very exciting. Like he had some blunders last year. You guys know one of the biggest ones, or the biggest one. And he also had some like jaw-dropping highlight plays that Cade just can't do because Cade's not that athletic, doesn't have that arm talent as NFL scouts like to say, which we are as well. So I guess I can use that term without saying NFL scouts use it. But I would start Cade still if I was the head coach of Michigan. Like Evan said, he's a champion. He's lost 2 games at the University of Michigan when starting, and one arguably was not his fault because JJ was the one who fumbled. Like they were in control. Yes, Kenneth went off, but like the course of that game is different if Cade is in and doesn't fumble that snap. That opens the door for the comeback to be completed. And then, yes, Cade did throw a pick on the last drive, but again, hell of a play by a cornerback dropping back, and like it's pressure moment and you being more aggressive on that drive. So the only, like, he had bad games throughout. Yes, the Georgia game leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but then again, I just watched Georgia have like 6 players drafted on their defense in the first round. So I'm going to give him a pass on that. And I do agree deep down, like that's why it's such a hard decision, because deep down to Alex's point, I struggled to see like Cade being the guy that lifts the national championship trophy behind like him, because here's another caveat that is more big picture, but I don't think Michigan's defense will be as good as it was last year. That's pretty an obvious thing to say. And so I think that's where JJ could come into play maybe later in the year if they get off to a slow start. Is like you're going to need to outscore some teams. And like you think about last year's Penn State game at Penn State, 21 points may not be enough this year. You might need like 30 in that game. You may not hold Penn State to 14 or 17 points. They may not fake a field goal like an idiot, although James Franklin probably will keep doing that. But my point overall is you might need to get into more shootouts, and I think JJ is more suited to that. But to start, I think Cade's the guy. Running back room, some stats for you guys, some crazy stats for you guys. Massive shoes to fill. Hassan Haskins, drafted the Evans Titans. He had 270 carries last year, and like Michigan was kind of a committee, but really wasn't looking back. Kenneth Walker had 263. And you think about how Michigan still had Corum. They ran the ball so much that Haskins ended up having 7 more carries. So I did some math of if you took Haskins, Corum, and Edwards and added up all their carries and then divided it just by 2 guys, because we're thinking it's just going to be Corum and Edwards, that would each give Corum and Edwards 200 plus carries next year to fill that void of like Haskins taking on 270 carries. Just an absolute workhorse, did not get injured. So there's some, just natural curiosity there of who fills in. My take on this room right now is deep down, based on what I've seen in a small sample size, I love Blake Corum, and he's going to have a huge role this year, I believe. I think also off recruiting pedigree, that Donovan Edwards will be extremely tough to keep off the football field. And I think when the sun sets on his Michigan career, we'll look back on him more fondly than Corum or Haskins, because I think he's that talented, and I think he's going to really push Corum, and they will be more of a true like 1A, 1B than 270 carries to like 130 like it was last year. And also Corum got banged up sometimes, but it would not surprise me if each of them had over 1,000 yards rushing. So that's my take on those two. Curious your thoughts on either of them. Which one floats your boat, tickles your pickle more than the other?
Edwards is a better all-around running back. Corum is probably, I don't know. His hands aren't great. Can't catch passes against my school.
No. Walk-in touchdown drop.
Yeah. Edwards is the overall better running back. Corum has the experience and the age. And so it's going to end up as a split probably. But yeah, they're both, with how much Michigan runs the ball, they're both going to touch the ball a million times. You're not really going to know the difference between who's 1A and 1B. They're going to be the same.
Yeah.
And Donovan Edwards is a little more eye-popping at things he can do, but Corum is more fast, explosive type of running back.
Yeah, he's quick.
I feel like Donovan Edwards needs to be, though, the number 1 running back.
He should be.
It's like you always say, like, people that scare you when you're facing another team. Blake Corum doesn't scare me if I'm the other defensive coordinator or I'm a fan of Michigan State. Blake Corum doesn't scare me. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, he has pretty solid speed, and he can bust anyone loose. But Donovan Edwards is like the X factor anytime he like touches the ball. He's got size. He's got speed.
He looks like a grown man.
He ran
like a
the
grown
trick
man.
He's
play
a large
for
19-year-old.
Michigan in the Big Ten championship game. He was one that got to throw it.
Yeah, and he's a sick bastard.
Threw a dime.
He needs to be the one
going back
that
to
like
West Bloomfield.
he needs to be the one with the more carries.
I would give him the rock.
Most touches, because he's a good receiver. So just get the ball in his hands in space, essentially.
He does everything better than Corum in every facet.
Corum's
I don't know
probably
about
a little more shifty laterally,
fine, but like
like
how
a
much do
quick
you really...
scat back.
Yeah, Corum's going to be good for some gadget things, but Donovan Edwards is a running back, a Big Ten, like all Big Ten running back.
Got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's him. Hopefully he's him in the running back room. But again, I would not be
I hope he transfers.
I would not be upset if it was like a almost like 50-50 split, because I do think Corum is.
I think
really
it will
talented.
be a 50-50 split. It's Jimmy we're talking about.
Yeah. And then
And
I don't
with how
have
much
any.
you run the ball.
I have no third string guys. If one of those guys goes down, we'll have to figure that out as the time comes. I didn't go that deep in my research. I'm talking about the
I
main
don't even
guys.
know who else you have.
Wide receiver, tight end room. Most question marks in this room by far. Fun trivia stat of the day for you guys. When was the last time Michigan football had a 1,000-yard receiver in a season?
I'm gonna say it was
Mario Manningham.
Roy Roundtree.
Ooh, good guess.
So that would have been around like
Wait, J.U. Chesson.
no, it was what was it? I think it was Jeremy Gallen. I think I forgot. I kind of forgot the name. I just looked at the year. The year was 2013. It's been a really long time since Michigan has had a 1,000-yard receiver, and it's kind of crazy because this room, to me, when I look at it, I see a bunch of very capable guys, but I have to remind myself that unless something changes, they're not really going to be utilized that much. They're kind of like plug and play, whoever, just as long as you catch the ball in traffic and, like I said, don't drop passes that need to be caught. You're not. No guy's really going to stand out from the rest. I hope that starts to change, but right now, the three guys I would say that you're going to probably see the most, if we're talking about like day one starters, I think Ronnie Bell is going to step right back into a lead role. Cornelius Johnson is a senior. He was the leading receiver in yards last year, I believe. I don't know if I wrote that down specifically, but he was up there. And then Roman Wilson, I believe, will be featured. That's the curious thing is like Andrew Anthony impressed last year, had some flash plays, but I don't think he vaults into the top three. But like wide receivers, you rotate a lot anyway, so he's going to see the field and whatnot. It's just a very deep, confusing room to kind of sort out what's going to happen here. I'm curious your guys' thought. Are there any guys in this group that fear you at all when you play them, or is it just like all around in the same tier?
Personally, won't speak for Evan, but no one at the receiver position is really like worries me. There's no Donovan Edwards in the receiver room. There might be in that one true freshman who had an explosive spring game or whatever. Is highly rated recruit.
That's my freshman to watch.
Figured you were going to talk about him. He has all the tools to be very good. But I don't expect freshmen to come in and like change the landscape of a team. So no, not really scared of the receivers, especially with the offense Michigan runs. It's just not a big thing that they do.
Yeah.
There's no Braylon Edwards.
I just think they need to let the ball loose a little bit more. I think these guys are more talented than what they really are like shown for. Like Andre Anthony went off against Michigan State. Player, great potential. I think AJ Henning, fast, talented guy.
Is Debo Samuel.
Yeah, I didn't even mention AJ Henning. This is a deep room.
It's very deep. You look around paper, it's a very
guys.
deep room that has a lot of talent in there. It just the offense is holding them back. Now I know Jim said in the press conference, "There's not a play that I don't like." Blah blah blah. Okay, but you also want to run the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah,
It's like
60.
you can't have it both
70.
ways. You get 75 plays if you're lucky. So like 70 since you run the ball so much, and you want to run the ball 50 of the times.
yeah.
Jim's a confusing guy.
It was like last year you were pounding the table.
It's
just
pretty
to
simple.
get
He just
ball
likes to
in
run the
space.
ball.
He just loves running the ball. And
I personally just don't think the wide
I would
receiver
be
room
worried
for
about
Michigan
it
is
this year.
used enough.
I think Michigan will need to throw the ball more. And when they do, we'll be able to have some clarity on how good these guys are. I do think Ronnie Bell is a very good player. We'll see how he has progressed from his injury, obviously. But
they need a true, deep, intimidating vertical threat. And my hope is either Anthony or the freshman Darius Clemens can become
scary.
that. Because
Darius Clemens is good.
Because right now it's like Ronnie Bell's not a deep threat. Roman Wilson could be because he's fast, but he's not going to go win you a jump ball most likely because of his size. And then Cornelius is just a tactician route runner. Did have a deep catch against Ohio State, but he's not like known for that. So they are missing that deep vertical threat. So hopefully there's something that comes from that. But to tie a bow on this room, it's probably going to be, last year, 10 different players caught a touchdown pass for Michigan, which is spreading the ball around. I think it'll be similar to that. There'll be a lot of guys, not one dominant guy, and a lot of guys that finish 500 yards to 700 yards. I don't think this year is when we see a 1,000-yard receiver streak snap. Maybe Ronnie Bell, it probably would be him, but there's too many guys to get the ball to, so.
You run the ball too much.
Run the ball a lot.
Too much.
Tight end room. Michigan has a strong NFL tight end in Eric All. If things keep going according to plan, he will be drafted next year pretty solidly. He had a really solid season last year after drop concerns the year before. Had a very memorable play against Penn State. Is a great blocker, sneaky, really underrated blocker in the run game. He's the really main guy. They also have two veterans coming back that are good run blockers. So when Jim throws out those 2 to 3 tight end sets, they have bodies for that. There's no new guys going to be playing in the tight end room. So not a sexy position group, but one of strength for Michigan. There's not really much else to add on to that.
Nope.
And then lastly, where you win football games, the offensive line, the big uglies, the big sexies, depending on how you look at it. Won the Joe Moore Award last year as the best offensive line in the country. That was before the Georgia game. Obviously, they were like the best until that point. But, you run into Georgia, it makes even the best offensive line look a little suspect. They lost 2 starters from that unit. Andrew Stuber got drafted. Andrew Vistardis, I don't know what happened to him in the NFL, but he was a key, like a very low-level recruit, but turned into a key center. Now, they're replacing him with one of the best centers in the entire country. I wrote down his name. I don't want to butcher it. His last name is Oluwatimi from Virginia. He was a Remington Award finalist, and everyone has been raving about him, saying he came in, learned the offense quick, feels like he's been here for 4 years. So I would say really this offensive line is losing one player, and it's the right tackle. And so that's going to be the place to watch. But this offensive line is going to be as good, potentially better. I'm going to say as good because they won the award for it, as last year. You keep your left tackle, the guard Zach Zinter, who is going to be a junior, I believe, is the best NFL prospect of this group. They're going to be grown men getting in people's faces like the Ohio State game. I'm very excited to watch them move bodies and, pulling guards and all that good stuff. So I don't know if you guys have anything for the offensive line because it's kind of a boring position, but I think it is a huge point of strength for this team.
Did Trevor Keegan start at left tackle last year?
No.
I believe he was right tackle.
So they moving him over to...
Wait.
Oh, Ryan Hayes. He started at left tackle last year?
No, you're right. One of them, because Stuber was a tackle, and either Keegan or Hayes was a tackle. And Zinter was a guard. And then the other one of Hayes or Keegan was a guard. So I think I think Hayes is left tackle, and then Trent Jones will be right tackle as of now, leading the competition. So that's, I think, how it's going to shake out.
Nothing bad. They're good. It's a good O-line.
And then the last thing for Michigan, you guys can give yours as well, a points per game prediction. Always fun to look at. Go back. So what I did, I wanted to get a realistic feel for last year. And so I added up all the scores of games that I thought were good indicators. So I did all Big Ten games. I did the Washington game. I basically just took out Western and Northern Illinois because you dropped 63 against Rocky Lombardi. That's going to inflate some numbers. They had 33 points per game last year in meaningful games. I might be a little bullish, but there's a lot of people returning on this offense. I think they can get to 37 points per game in meaningful games. I think this offense can get a tick up and will be flirting with a 40 points per game mark. I think they're going to have to win some shootouts. Will that mean JJ McCarthy is the guy behind center? Maybe. I don't know. But we saw last year they put up some points with Cade, and I think they can do it again. They have no reason not to exceed what they did last year, unless the new change in coordinators is really going to hurt them. But I don't see it.
Okay, meaningful games, points per game. I just need to look at their schedule before I make a
30.
Well, there's less meaningful games this year.
Correct, because you don't play non-conference, and you don't play anybody. You don't leave the state of Michigan until October.
One of like 5 teams that don't play a Power 5 team in non-conference.
I love it.
You love being losers?
No, I love
not like playing someone good.
Save your legs for the big games.
30.
Look,
I don't know who your crossovers are. Give me a second. Iowa. Ooh, that's gonna be a low-scoring bloodbath.
30.
No, you play Illinois. Jesus, you're gonna run your shit out. I think we do too, so we can't say anything. Yeah, I'll go on to that. I'm saying 29. I think Haskins was so vital for your team.
I wanted to say 27. I'll say 30 though.
I'm gonna say like 29.7 is gonna be like
27. Alex
is like the actual number. Obviously, it's gonna be inflated, but meaningful games. I don't think he'll score 42 again against Ohio State. Dude, it's at Ohio State.
We're throwing out UConn's game. So.
Well, yes, I know that.
Yeah, it's going to be a smaller sample size, so I guess it could. You guys might end up being right on
Iowa's good defense.
I think Michigan State's defense can be a tad bit better.
I hope so.
Iowa's defense should be better. I'm saying 29.7 just solely because I think Haskins was so important to your team and the 2 offensive linemen. I think the ground game. Yeah, you have an All-American center transfer coming in, but
oh yeah,
there's a difference between a guy learning a playbook for 1 year than having guys there for 3-4 years.
Yeah, fair.
I really just think that the quarterback competition. Just pick one.
No committee, Evan.
Well, then you're going to score less.
We're going to change.
You're going to have JJ come in and fumble footballs.
You know how some people say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one?
Correct.
What about 2 quarterbacks is better than one?
In grand size,
what about
it's better than
JT Barrett, Cardell Jones losing to Virginia Tech?
JT Barrett, newest member of the Detroit Lions.
Congratulations.
Offensive analyst.
Those replies were so funny. Just everyone just saying short. It just will never die. Michigan State football, perfect time because I'm going to get this post out real quick while you guys start it. But tell us about the coaching of Michigan State, the overall system that will be running year 2 or year 3 of Mel Tucker.
Year 2.5.
Shut up, Alex.
The system's going to be the same, except you have better tight ends, a more experienced quarterback, a deep wideout room, and more running backs than just Kenneth Walker. So honestly, it's just going to improve on what you had. It's the same system, though.
Okay, coaching overall. Obviously, Mel Tucker trusts Jay Johnson a lot, replacing...
Evan doesn't like Jay Johnson. I do, personally. I like Jay Johnson.
I do like him, but his ups and downs and consistency with play calling from last year, game to game, I want these...
You're not going to be perfect.
I want this sexy, perfect play calling that we saw in the second half versus Miami every single week.
That's just not going to...
It should be. That is the standard.
Against Miami?
I
was screaming from the nosebleeds, telling him exactly what he needed to do to get the ball to Kenneth outside and use the edges. So you're welcome, Jay.
Yes.
Jay's a good coordinator.
He is.
We don't want to take him for granted. You want Dave Warner back in the building?
No. Actually, I would take Dave Warner.
What?
Alex, it's a joke, bro.
You want Dan Rochard? My God. Don't get me started on the
Don Treadwell.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, we have a new running back coach. Was here in the system last year. However, William Piegler, highly regarded recruiter, running back coach.
Really good.
Left the program. I think everybody else on the offensive staff is the same. So going forward, yes. I think the offenses can only get better this year. Yes, you'll never... Well, no running back in probably Michigan State history will ever have the season that Kenneth Walker had. Ever again.
It's going to be really hard for most college teams to replace that impact level.
And so just the fact that we had to find like a Kenneth Walker replacement. You're never going to find a Kenneth Walker replacement. You just got to...
Don't search for one.
You got to find the same flow offensively as you did game by game last year. It might be do different ways. You're not going to be able to just hand the ball off on 3rd and 5 to Kenneth Walker and be like, hey, go score a 55-yard touchdown. Not going to be able to hand the ball off against Rutgers and score a 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah, school record.
Yeah, so I think the offense will be all right. Like Alex touched on it a little bit, but I think the coaching system, same coordinators, I think perfectly fine there.
Year 3 with this OC, it should be better.
And the big advantage that Michigan State has between the two teams is knowing there's only one quarterback. So let's talk about that quarterback, Payton Thorne. What are some expectations you guys have for him this year? Worst case scenario would be the Brian Lewerke second year.
Grant, do not say that.
Best case would be following in the footsteps of Connor Cooks and Kirk Cousins of the world and continuing to lead this team to win. So what are we thinking this year?
I'm thinking that Payton Thorne and Brian Lewerke are different people off the field and different competitors.
Well, Payton Thorne has a burger named after him. So there's
Payton Thorne is like, I love football guy. Brian Lewerke, I don't know. But I know Payton Thorne is going to work his balls off to be the best quarterback he can be. And I would put him on like this is going to seem absurd, but I'd put him on a Kirk Cousins trajectory. I think that he is only going to get better as he's here, and this could be his last season. But he already broke the passing touchdown record last year. He's only started one season, and he improved the entire way. So I'm expecting like huge things, like second best quarterback in the Big Ten besides C.J. Stroud. Just because
you answered my question. I was going to ask where do you think
talents.
he slots into our conference's QB ranks?
Number two for me, and I don't question it.
He's 2 or 3. I think. What's his name? Aiden O'Connell. He's very talented at Purdue.
You guys know about him?
Yes, we do very much. Just they run a different system there, so they're throwing
no
first.
D-Bell.
But like Alex said, second year starting. He knows
D-Bell?
It's his team.
Oof.
Captain, leader. I feel like Jay Johnson fully trusts him. And he did make strides throughout the year. One thing, got to limit turnovers, bad turnovers. So the bad interceptions, i.e. the Michigan interception on the first drive. The bad deflection ball, I don't really care about. Got to use your legs more on scrambling. Don't be scared to scramble first and get 3-4 yards. Don't always have to feel like you have to make the throw. And then next, like his stats, I feel like 27, right, Alex? 27-28 was the school record. I'm fully expecting, I would be shocked if he doesn't get 30.
Touchdown passes?
Yes.
I think he's going to have a huge season. Huge.
I would be shocked if he doesn't get 30. I feel like we will
Assuming
throw
he's
the
healthy.
ball. There's just definitely different situations now where we're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, you'd think.
So we'll touch on a little bit, the only thing that is going to hinder him probably will be the offensive line play.
Can we get 4,000 yards out of him? 30 touchdowns?
I don't know if we could get 4,000
I don't know. College is a little different.
3,232 last year.
I would say
With the Heisman.
I would say his max is
38?
35, 36. I'll say his max is 36. But I'm
think
saying
he's gonna have a
36 with
monster
30
year. I'm
touchdowns
going
is
for
very
it.
solid.
Yeah.
30-4. Huge season.
30 and
You're
4.
saying 4 and 30, or are you saying 30 and 4? 3,000 with 40?
4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns.
So 40 and 4 and 30.
A double-double.
And if he doesn't do that, we're not going to be very good.
And the reason you're thinking that he will have those numbers is because of some question marks in the running back room. Lost a massive talent, arguably. Well, for me personally, watching Michigan State football is the best running back I have ever seen. I feel comfortable saying that.
I said that week 4 last year.
Will he have as good of a NFL peak as Le'Veon Bell did? I don't know. I can't see the future. Chris Carson retired, so maybe. But like in terms of impact and changing a game and doing it all, the best. So those are huge shoes to fill. Now there was some talent added feels like a 2 running back race right now. You got 50 Burger, Jalen Burger, and Jarek Broussard, who spells his name awesome. The first name Jarek, the way he spells it is just very visually appealing. What are you guys feeling about the running back room? Think a guy will emerge out of that as the clear one, or we have a 1A, 1B on our hands to start?
Before Evan goes, I just want to say briefly, I don't love that everyone thinks we have massive question marks in our running back room, because people just don't realize that Jarek Broussard was the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. Like, he is not some scrub that is just like transferring over and like competing for playtime. He's going to play, and he's very good.
It's still there's still question marks.
Yes, you're not going to replace a Heisman level running back with the one guy. You're not going to do that. But I would say that I view this running back room as a 2-man room, similar to Michigan. I don't think it's going to be a competition where we're going to give Broussard the ball 80,000 times or give Berger the ball 2,000 times. I think we're just going to split the room, and then that also keeps everybody more healthy and more rest, which means they can play longer and it'll be better. And we won't have Kenneth Walker injured when we play Ohio State and have him have 6 carries in a game that matters. But Evan, you can go. B squared.
I won't have a bad take like I did last year previewing the offense.
Talk up Elijah Collins.
That was based off of my viewing experience.
You guys both thought Anthony Russo was taking the first snap under center.
That's a fair thing to assume, guy. They brought in a senior transfer.
That was based off of
him
my
and
viewing
Alan Bowman,
experience.
baby.
Him and Alan Bowman are hanging out.
First-hand viewing experience in person. Okay, this year. Berger got there in January, was there all spring practice. I think he's going to be the first running back to get a handoff. Jerry Broussard hasn't been there yet. He hasn't moved in yet.
Mel was raving about him today.
Semantics. Who's getting
there?
When it's all said and done at the end of the year, who has the most touches?
The most touches. Most handoffs is going to be Jalen Berger. The most pass catching out of the backfield will be Broussard.
They both have good hands, though.
And that would be a big dynamic for the offense.
Mel Tucker said today they both have good ball skills.
Correct, they did. But
which is something that we have not had in the running back room in a while.
Laws.
I just think that they're both running styles are a little bit different. Broussard's more of a get to the edge, zone blocking, and Berger's kind of power scheme, straight downhill.
Wisconsin.
In the trenches, yes. That's where he came from.
Yeah.
I like both of them a lot. I still like Harold Joyner. He's a freak athlete.
I love Harold Joyner.
I mean, when you're doing 90 backflips down the football field, there's something to be said about how athletic you are. I think it's those three.
He's Connor Hayward.
I think it's those three. I wouldn't mind Harold Joyner playing that Connor Hayward role.
He's going to play H-back.
They just look a lot different.
But I feel very confident in the 2 running backs that we have. We had a question mark at running back last year and see what happened. So I don't mind 2 running backs. I think they're both very talented. I'm not nervous.
I feel very good about the running back room despite the non-Michigan State people that are all worried about it. I felt good about Kenneth Walker last year to the point where I said he'd have over 1,000 yards rushing, and I got several laughs in my face. I don't know if it was from Grant or not. Grant laughed at me when I said that Jaden Reed and Jalen Naylor would be the second best receiving group in the Big Ten. So we'll see. I don't feel worried at all about the running backs.
The Alex stamp of approval.
At all.
Speaking of those wide receivers, Jaden Reed is back. And he was the better of the 2 last year, and he is back. He looks like DK Metcalf. I hope you guys got to see that picture. I hope you guys got to see that picture after your Faster Horses bender. But yeah, that came across my feed. It was so jarring that I just had to tweet it out because I was like, this guy looks insane. What are we expecting from him, first of all, before we talk about shoes to fill of Naylor leaving?
I mean, big, humongous things.
The ceiling's the roof.
If Jackson Smith-Njigba was not in the Big Ten, he would be like my clear best receiver in the Big Ten, not even close.
So he had 1,026 yards, 10 touchdowns. What are we thinking ballpark stat-wise that he could do receiving-wise?
Let me do a quick.
I think 10. I think those yards and everything, I think are all right. The yards and touchdowns. He only had like 56 catches, though.
Yeah.
I think he needs to add a solid 15, 20 more this year. he needs to be over 70, like closer to 80. Because I think like the top Ohio State guys, they also do throw the ball more. Don't get me wrong, but they are like 90-some catches.
Yeah. I think 1,500 yards should be a goal. 1,500 yards would be pretty nice. That'd be top 5 receiver in the NCAA, which I don't think is unrealistic. And I think at least double-digit touchdowns again.
And I feel like there's a chance for more catches because we're not going to be having as many home run plays. We're going to have to like maintain drives and have more drives. We're not going to have, a flea flicker on the first play or Kenneth Walker break a touchdown on the very first play of the season. So I feel like the catches are doable. Missed it on TV. We definitely probably do need him to score 10 more touchdowns. I just don't see how, if you're a defensive coordinator, it's 3rd and long, 4th and long, 2nd and long. I don't see how you can't put a safety over top with how good Jaden Reed is on jump balls in one-on-one situations. You saw it multiple times last year. Some great pictures. I think twice against Pitt, once against Penn State, and that was just in the last couple of games.
Michigan.
2-point conversion, though.
Yes. Also had the big 4th down catch on Michigan as well. Guy makes plays in traffic.
Yeah, to Evan's point, I do think that would be, if you're going to argue same stats, not a huge improvement, it's because he is like the guy. There is like everything in the game plan is stop Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a big test for him.
Trivia question for Evan.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, Grant, you will not know, but if you do, please give the answer. Who was Michigan State's last Big Ten wideout of the year?
Tony Lippett.
Tony Lippett.
No.
It was Aaron Burbridge.
Fraudulent award.
Aaron Burbridge. Now, his stats. 85 catches, 1,200, almost 1,300 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Yeah. I have a hard time believing Jaden Reed couldn't do better than that.
No. Will he win the award?
I do think his
Probably
touchdowns...
not.
Correct. No. Jackson Smith-Njigba was a freak. It's his award. That's fine. I do think his touchdowns will regress naturally because of the attention he's going to get.
I don't know, dude. Jordan Addison had 17 last year, and I think someone else I just looked up had 17, so he could go up into like the 12 range.
We also need to talk about the rest of the room that is super talented as well, that they're going to be a problem.
They are talented, but they're question marks here.
Trey Mosley is not a question mark.
Trey Mosley is one of the most underrated wide receivers that has gone through Michigan State over the last 15 years. He doesn't get credit where he's due because the last 2 years he's had Jaden Reed and Jalen Naylor in front of him. Trey Mosley is a fantastic wide receiver.
Trey Mosley, though, is like, he is good, but
he catches everything his way. He's not going to make big plays, though.
Unless it's a huge breakout year that I'm missing, he's kind of more in like that Michigan class we just talked about, where he's your 500, 700-yard guy, just like steady as a rock. Yeah. Could even be like Ronnie Bell or, a Cornelius Johnson. Like, he's there. He doesn't really mess up. He does what he's asked of him. But the X factor that,
freak,
the two-way guy,
freak of nature,
Keon Coleman would be the X factor that can get this more of a home run hitting offense. So I'm curious how are you guys taking this cautiously? Or are you like full bore? Like he's going to
have
him
a big jump. He's a freak. He's an athletic freak. Feeling it. If he can get
and catch the
coverages and plays locked in and know where he needs to be, there is no reason.
He's in the basketball court. He was not running around with his head cut off on football fields.
Agreed. I assume he will know how to do all of this stuff with the amount of attention that Jaden Reed's going to get. And Trey Mosley seems to be always open for 7 yards, and he's not going to drop passes. Ken Coleman has no reason to not have a large, big impact season. He's huge. He's fast. And from what I've seen, he has good hands.
His behind-the-scenes production day video was very cringy, though, so I'm going to knock him down a point from that.
Wow. All those videos have to be cringy because imagine someone telling you, hey, like, do this dance for us with no music playing while I take pictures of you while your whole team's watching. It's got to be the most awkward thing of all time.
Spartans country.
That's right.
Spartan Nation.
That's right. My only question about Keon Coleman is, can he take targets away from the other guy, the more experienced guys there? My example is Terry Lockett Jr. and Monterey Foster. Those guys have been there for a year longer than them. They're probably not household names. They've caught a couple passes here and there, but they're more experienced in like they're fighting for like that third wide receiver role just as much as Keon Coleman is. The only thing is Keon Coleman has social media hype. He has the fans' attention. Everyone knows who he is. He caught a touchdown against Ohio State when we were down by 90.
It's Keon Coleman's job.
So that's my only thing is like he's fighting for that third wide receiver, no matter who is it going to be. And it's like the third wide receiver is going to be whoever can produce, whoever can play. And that's what it's going to be. I don't care regardless who the name is. But Alex is 100% right on like the talent potential there is completely off the chart.
Fully predicting it's going to be Keon Coleman as the third guy. May emerge as the second guy by the end of the season and move.
However, I didn't touch on this beforehand. Coaching scheme. This could be a situation where now that we have two freakish tight ends, that we're seeing more two wide receivers and two tight ends in like a 4 wide set. Or if they're 3, there's going to be always a tight end on the field.
That's called 12 personnel, right?
Yeah.
Do I got that right? 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 12. It's a great transition, Evan, into the tight ends. 2 massive human beings. Their names are
Daniel Barker and Malik Carr.
Malik Carr, I know Daniel Barker from Illinois.
Yes.
Right? So
Daniel Barker is a freak.
This is another realm of Michigan State's offense that could really more splash plays, more consistent moving the chains because while Michigan State has had serviceable tight ends in the past, I don't think I've ever viewed Michigan State as tight end like a tight end factory, but maybe this is a change in Mel Tucker that we see over the years. So yeah, how are you guys feeling about this revamped tight end room?
Jay Johnson has stated on several occasions that he wants to make the tight end position a focal point of the offense. First season, he had a punter.
Still there.
So you're just going to be still there. He'll probably play. Tyler Hunt. But then you got to see a little bit when they put Connor Hayward at H-back, tight end, whatever you want to call it, and how impactful Connor Hayward was. Blocking, catching the ball, got drafted. If I told Evan at this time last year Connor Hayward is getting drafted, he would have laughed at me. So that's just how much we want to use that position. And I think with the guys we have, athletic freaks, I don't know about their blocking. I'll be honest, hand up. Don't know if they're good at blocking, but that will matter. But in terms of catching the ball, Malik Carr and Daniel Barker are very good at that. And freak athletes that you can create space with at the tight end position.
Malik Carr is just a scary human being running down the field. If
Terrifying.
Anything, just
he
runs a little fear in your heart.
His ball security, though, I do worry about.
No,
he doesn't wear gloves.
Yeah,
it's a big
He's
problem.
a football guy. Alex hit a nail on the head. I think they're probably not in there to block. They're in there to get the ball. Matchup situation, matchup problems, whoever's guarding them.
No block, no rock, though.
True. True.
No block, no rock.
You just think about like pass. I know completely different schemes, but you think about past Michigan State successful offenses. There was at least a tight end there catching at least 25, 30 balls a year.
Josiah Price,
and I feel like
one.
the tight end position is just like a safety valve for some quarterbacks. And I feel like it's just an easy 5-6 yards you always think about. Like 2 very talented guys, and I feel like Malik Carr's going to have a bigger year than Barker just because Malik Carr's been here. And Malik Carr just, to me, is just like the freakish athlete.
I worry about Malik Carr's not toughness, but like he doesn't block. He doesn't do all the things that I think the staff cares about to be on the field.
No rock.
I do not
no
need
block, no rock. I think he's certainly going to have a million plays dialed up for him, like we saw last year, late in the year, like the Purdue. I think he scored a touchdown against Purdue. Also had a big play against them. And then he had a big play against Maryland, maybe. But you're going to see more of that. But in terms of like who's on the field more, probably be Barker, I would assume. I mean, he's a big, experienced tight end who ended Mark D'Antonio's coaching career. So
okay, guys that have to block the offensive linemen, and really the biggest part of any offense, where if there's no time for the skill guys to do their cool stuff, then you're in a world of trouble. So, what are your guys' brief notes? Where are the sure things and where are the question marks on this offensive line for Michigan State?
Sure things, there aren't any.
Okay.
Yes, I was about to say, I think before Alex goes, I think every position is a question mark. We have every single potential starter has had some sort of playing time, starting experience. The least amount was Spencer Brown, who's going to start at right tackle. His only start last year was in the Peach Bowl, though.
But he has to start.
Didn't you guys like platoon offensive linemen last year?
What happened was after the Michigan game, the entire offensive line was injured, and so we were playing people that didn't play all season.
Hutchinson and Ojabo will do that to you.
Somebody left the team because of mental reasons.
Because they
didn't quit. Alex, they're back on the team. He's potentially our starting left tackle.
He has to be. I'm not going to get into that. That'll sound very insensitive.
Yeah. Blog board.
The experience is not good. We were not platooning on purpose. We were platooning out of necessity.
Okay.
The biggest weakness on the team is just depth at offensive line, every position. We did bring in a transfer from Washington State. Did bring in a transfer from junior college. Both highly regarded, both highly...
East Mississippi.
Independence, actually.
Brian Green started at center and guard out there at Washington State. He'll
be a jack of all trades type of guy, probably.
He's going to compete at one of the guard spots and one of the center spots. Or not one of at the center spot. I like our offensive line. It's just a matter if they can hold up and the depth behind it. Because you're super thin at right tackle, super thin at left, and then you're basically just all the guards and centers basically are just the best three are going to play, and you'll figure out who's snapping the ball.
Health is massively important for this group.
Yes. J.D. DuPlain, senior, Nick Samick, senior, grad transfer, and Brian Green. So you have experience. It's just can they produce now that they're called on to do it?
Yeah.
So definitely one of the things to observe in practices, reports, and any scrimmages that lead up to the game.
The goal is that your 4-star Vandermark, who will now be a sophomore, can be ready to go. To get the guys that are huge that you got in your first recruiting class that are now going to be all redshirt freshmen, there's a pretty solid chance they're going to play because offensive linemen get injured all the time. So
you need your Zach Zinter, who was a big key for Michigan his sophomore year.
You need a big guy
to. All right.
Yeah.
Guys that have never seen the field before.
And I mean, luckily we play Western and Akron, but I feel like we struggle against those two teams of like just consistency, offensive play in those two first games, it's going to be difficult against top end opponents with big defensive linemen. So Washington.
But anybody can pass protect, Grant.
Washington will have those Samoans.
Anybody can pass protect.
Who says that?
Me. I say.
Oh. I thought you said Grant.
You can scheme around pass protection. And it's always about leaving a tight end. And
you can't run the ball. I hope we abandon it. That's all I'm going to say.
You can pass protect, but like for quick routes, like it's going to be harder to get deep shots at Keon Coleman if
you're going to have to draw up some nice plays. So I think the offense line is the biggest question mark on offense for Michigan State and probably the entire team, to be honest.
It is the entire team.
Points per game prediction. What are you guys thinking for this offense?
I said 30 for Michigan, and I believe, not biased, that Michigan State's offense is better, more explosive, and going to throw the ball a lot more, which naturally will mean more possessions and more points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go. What do you know what they did last year by chance?
Total games was 31.8.
Take away
7-point against Ohio State. And
but you can't take out
Youngstown.
42 Youngstown, 48 Western Kentucky. I probably would take those two out if I had to calculate it, but
you're taking Western Kentucky out.
I think
33.7.
33.7. So call it 34.
No,
I'm around 32, 29-30, I think.
32, and then you said 29-30.
No, 32-30 also, 30 as well, 30 with Michigan, probably the same around offense production.
I think Michigan State's offense is better.
I think the schedules, crossovers, there's a little bit. We play tougher crossovers. Okay, more stress situations.
We got Illinois.
One, Alex. We played Northwestern and Purdue and Nebraska. We have Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois. So Wisconsin, Minnesota, decent on defense. Okay. So I'm still around 30.
I'm putting my stock into Payton Thorne. I'm not putting my stock into Cade McNamara. That's why my points are higher. It's pretty much that's what all it comes down to.
I
also think Washington's probably better defensively than Miami was last year.
They better be because they can't score.
And you're gonna be in more dogfights this year, just solely because now everybody saw what you did last year. You're not gonna surprise anybody.
I'll go 35 points per game.
Maryland's gonna be better. Penn State still an easy win against them.
I love how you just discredit them. They're picked ahead of us, Evan, in the polls.
I was yelling at my TV before I left around 7:00. So
but if they start, they have a chance if they don't play Clifford. If they start their recruit, they have a chance.
Drew
to be better. Villar.
I'm around 30. Somewhere
Villar's a freak.
I could see 29 something. I could see 32 something. So somewhere around there. I'm saying around 30.
I could see this being the best offense since Connor Cook's last or second to last season.
Wow.
I think it's going to be that good.
I just also don't think we can get as many possessions as we did last year.
I find it hard to believe it's going to be better than last year.
I think our defense will be better, so it will probably make less shootouts.
I mean, the NFL talent
need to score as much.
That last year's team had 4 NFL players on it.
Yeah.
2 that the current team, 2 that went.
The current offense, I think, has at least 4.
Has 2, I know for sure.
2 guarantees.
I'll give Broussard 3. If you win a player of the year, you'll probably make.
I will project several others.
All right.
I will project Keon Coleman and Malik Carr to be NFL players. Trey Mosley might get a camp tryout.
All right.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
Is there one name, just a quick name, you don't have to explain it, but any freshman you think will make an impact on this offense later in the year?
Jeremy Bernard. He was
even
talked
special
about
teams,
today.
maybe. I don't know.
He's talked about.
I'll say Antonio Gates Jr.
Okay,
Ooh, he's big.
I like that. Good.
It's
a good name.
If you're not getting it is. Not getting production on the third player. He's a bigger wide receiver, too small to play tight end, but he's a big wide receiver. So you never know.
All right,
offense only, right?
Yeah.
Jack Nickel too.
All right, it was good to talk some ball. Now let's talk about some food real quick here to end this thing out. Alex will be 1 on the random number generator. I'm 2. Evan's 3. Generate. 2 came up first. Not rigged. I will take the second pick in the draft. I will go right in the middle. I like the middle spot. 3. Evan, where would you like to draft?
I am picking 3rd.
Okay, Alex, you have the first pick in the breakfast food snake draft. Again, to set the stage, 1 egg, 1 meat, 1 side dish, 1 sweet item, 1 beverage.
First pick, sweet item. Cinnamon roll.
Wow.
I mean, that's...
Feels bad.
I just don't like really any of the other sweet items. I love cinnamon rolls. I think couldn't go without it.
I feel like that's a bad value pick. Like I'm stunned that
I
went number
know
1.
that Evan's taking that soon.
Yeah,
if I
that
don't
was an
take
Evan
it.
play. That was an Evan play.
I don't care what your sweet item is. I can find eggs. I can find meats. I can find other things.
Yeah.
I can't find sweet items.
This is tough. Do I want to take what I think is a really good play, but it's a deep category? Do I pander to the crowd? No.
I thought there was a no-brainer, Grant, and I didn't take it.
No, I don't think there's a no-brainer. I just think that cinnamon roll was like a 3rd to 4th round pick here.
Yeah, I don't think you know who Evan is.
No, I know, but I guess if you're competing against him, I would let him have it.
I wouldn't.
That's a nice friend.
I'm not picking anything else.
I'm gonna take this. It's the most consistent at restaurants. They get cooked right every time. I love potatoes and ketchup for breakfast. I'm going to take home fries as my side dish.
Is that different than?
That seems like a reach.
Home fries are like the little potato cubes. Like you go to Bob Evans and you get home fries. They're like the little
So it's
square
different
cubes.
than something that I'm thinking of.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which
Because
I think is better than that.
I think these are most consistent. Sometimes they season them.
The little potato nugget squares.
Yeah.
Reach.
Yeah. At any sit down restaurant,
Bigger
you
reach
know they're going to
than
be
me.
good.
Bigger reach than me.
You get them at Waffle House. They're probably great. Whoa, spoilers. Evan, you got 2 picks on the turn.
Two picks. I'm going to go
cinnamon roll.
I'm going to go meat. I'm going to go bacon.
Yeah, that was the pander pick. It's not my heart though. That's a great. Evan,
It is not my heart. I found
pick.
a new heart for meat this year. It is the salt. I can't give it away.
Pause.
My meat is different. I'll be honest.
Pause.
Bacon's
I
not
wouldn't
too
be
for me.
mad if I didn't get this one, but it is falling into my lap. It's
Yeah,
like
you
the
have
best
to.
breakfast meat is bacon. And then some are saying
Best, well, overall, because like the smell too. I mean, with bacon, you get a versatile.
Smell
pick.
is-
yeah,
smells
I'm
nice.
so. I should have just taken bacon and pandered, but I really have this meat that I want to take. Pause.
I don't think Alex or I would have taken that.
The one meat Grant wants? What does he
One
want?
of the side
Diced
dish that he
ham?
took.
I wouldn't have taken hash brown. Or I wouldn't have taken whatever you took.
Okay, beverage. I'm
Sure,
going.
I messed up.
I'm going black
Coffee.
coffee.
Oh, that's a great pick. I was gonna take that. I was
Also
between
thought that was better than your pick, Grant. I thought your pick was the worst.
Oh, relax.
This is a
I'm gonna
really
make
bad
up for
pick.
it right here.
Really
Cinnamon
bad
roll is a terrible first pick. Evan
That
is
is
going
not.
to. Evan is going to win the draft.
I can't
I'm
wait to
thinking,
hear
I'm
your
thinking
sweet
of my
items.
perfect breakfast every morning, and I got 2 of them already. So
Can't wait to
feeling
hear
good.
your sweet items that are disgusting.
I gotta think about
I
it.
have I have at least 2 that are better than a cinnamon roll.
Well, I'm going to call them if they're not sweet items. If you say a pancake
have
with
them,
syrup, that's not a sweet item.
All right, it's on me. I would never do this right now, but I have to. The way Alex took a cinnamon roll, but this is still a good pick at this point. I'm taking orange juice as my beverage right here.
Oh,
So good luck.
Be
with,
that guy.
good
Be
luck
that guy.
with-
We're playing the
there-
game.
there's
We are playing the
there's-
game.
There's no beverages left. You like have
no,
to take
there
those
is.
2. No, there's not. Well, you
There
can
is.
wait you can save it for your last pick at this point because
There's one beverage that I have drank in the morning before, other than the 2.
Right, but it's not like no one
It's
thinks
not-
like yeah. That's
No, you're not
breakfast.
going to order it. No,
No.
but at least there's something out there.
All right, so you get 2 picks now, Alex.
2.
Yeah, you're on the turn.
You're on the turn.
Cinnamon roll boy. You got to get some.
I'll take sausage links.
No.
There's a difference. There's a
I
difference.
love sausage links. By far my favorite
That was my
meat.
one.
That's something I would.
Okay, what
We'll
flavor
take
is your
over
best,
bacon.
Alex?
I like the maple style sausage links. Those are fantastic. So I'll take that,
Meat's gone.
and then I'll
Pretty
take
good.
hash browns. That's different, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that is.
I will take hash browns.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, those are. I think hash browns is the no-brainer, like second side dish.
Number one
People,
side dish.
people
in
would
my opinion,
argue
personally.
one. My poke holes in it would just be if you had to say anything bad about hash browns. The cooking variants at restaurants is so hit or miss. Like sometimes they're undercooked and still white,
They
and
can
sometimes
miss.
they're
They can
overcooked and
miss.
just like way too crispy. And I myself have tried to make them in an air fryer this past weekend, and I crisped them up way too much. So they're just more hit or miss. Whereas home fries and another potato dish are usually more.
There's only one
straightforward.
person doing sides, Grant, so you can.
I can't
Evan's
say it
going
'cause I-
grits.
My side
Okay.
dish. I already got my
So
side dish
back
wrapped up.
to
You guys already took
me.
your side dishes? I got this thing in the
Fruit
back.
bowl.
So I don't need to take meat because you guys.
You're
have
probably
already
gonna call an
taken
asterisk on
mine.
my side dish, Alex. So, but I'm still taking it.
I will cancel it if it's not a side dish.
Right now
I
in
think
my
it is.
head is like, is Evan going to take the sweet that I would save here? I don't think he's going to. If he does, then my draft is completely blown up. I'm going to take a chance and take the best form of egg, and I'm going to take an omelet right here at the middle pick.
Is that a form of an egg?
Yeah.
Yes.
I Googled how
It's
to
only made
serve an
egg.
egg. I served how to serve an egg, and omelet was a way. Yes, I know what you're saying because things are put into an omelet, but
It's also like a flat scrambled egg. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's an
You
omelet.
cook it completely differently.
an omelet.
Feels dirty.
Is my egg.
Feels dirty.
Evan, 2 picks
I got
to
2
you.
picks. Okay, I'm going to take my egg, which is over easy.
Shit.
Bad egg.
You got to have the runny yolk.
First egg.
Okay, it's not called dippy. It's called over easy. You know who you are.
Yeah, you do.
And then my side dish, I am going biscuits and gravy.
Wow.
I thought about that, and there's no way that's a side dish because
It
that's
is
what
a
I would
side
have
dish.
taken. That's not.
It is a side dish.
That is not.
Yes.
It's a side dish.
Grant.
This is the
That
high,
is a
this
main meal.
This is high noon 2.0.
No.
But yeah, I think Evan had a dude. If you look up like you can order like an a la carte biscuits and gravy on the side dish at like a lot of restaurants. Let's go to Google. Is biscuits
It feels
and
so
gravy a side?
dirty.
Dude, I am running away with this.
You're getting things that are cheap.
The first thing on Google says is biscuits
Cheating.
and gravy healthy.
That is cheating, Evan. Biscuits and
That's not
gravy
cheating.
is not a side dish.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
I'm cheating on my drink then.
whoa! Now this, I don't think I have the heart to veto it, but people questions on Google says what side dishes go with biscuits and gravy.
Facts, because it's a main meal.
It is a side dish.
But you're only getting 2. Yeah, it is. It's a side. I order it
bullshit.
as a side. I never go to a restaurant but I'm
Bullshit.
only getting biscuits and gravy for breakfast.
You always have something with it.
I have gotten them many times.
Just biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, with a side of bacon and 2 eggs. Yeah.
So now you're adding bacon to the side,
But then
main dish. and
I
the
would say
gravy's the
that
side.
yeah, I would say the eggs and the meat are like the main. I think Evan gets it. Okay,
Thank you.
Evan, because I'm not going to veto it, so it's going to stand. Evan, what's your next pick? Right, because that was your first of 2.
No, my first one was over easy.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so back to me. You did not take. So I'm taking the best sweet item. I'm taking French toast. It is elite. I'll pick flaws of my own choice. It can get
It's
messed
just
up like
bread.
It can get messed up
It's
like
just
hash
bread.
browns. But you
French
always get
toast
that.
is super overrated.
No, you always get powdered sugar on it, which is phenomenal to have
Not
when
really
you're
a
nursing.
sweet item. It's just bread.
What? French toast is as sweet as can be.
What if I didn't put powdered sugar on it, Grant?
It comes with that.
It doesn't come
you-
with anything in your kitchen.
Oh,
You have to make it.
it over 50% of restaurants, sit down restaurants, you're getting powdered sugar on your
Fine.
French toast.
Is it a sweet item? Sort of. Is it kind of cheating? Are you and Evan cheating this
It's a-
draft? Yes.
a
Am I
pastry.
playing by the
Sweet
rules and going to
item.
lose because of
It's
it?
a-
Yes.
It's a
You're not
pastry. In what world isn't French toast sweet? Like, it's not savory. It's not like, oh, this is like bacon or sausage. It's French toast. It's like a pastry dish.
I said it was fine. I'm still mad about biscuits and gravy being a side
Okay,
dish.
you're taking it out on me. You're taking
That's
it.
bullshit. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows
Side
it.
dish.
I can't wait for this clip of his biscuits. We'll let the internet decide, but the graphic
I
will be made.
cannot wait for the amount of replies we get about biscuits and gravy. Just blowing up my
Side
phone
dish.
for 3 days.
I'm gonna tweet it now, so people are
You should.
prepared for the debate. Alex, you have 2 picks to close out your team,
Eggs.
so focus up.
Pick hard boiled. You won't.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take scrambled. It's the safest pick here. I don't personally love scrambled eggs that much.
Well, there's a better pick if you don't like scrambled.
What? Flat fried? Poached? Hard
Are you
boiled?
locked? Are you locked in on scrambled? Or is your hand off the chess piece? Because I don't want to give you it and then you'd be like, oh, I'm going to switch it to that.
Sunny side?
Sunny side up is really good.
I'd
But
like
I
to
know
take
that
that.
worries you.
I didn't
No.
lock my pick in. I'd like to take sunny side because I actually like sunny side way more than scrambled eggs. I was taking scrambled
No.
to appeal to voters, and I don't want to do that.
But you do that kind of thing where you cover the top, so it's not really sunny side. Because you got weirded out the one time I cooked sunny sides, and you're like, "Oh, isn't that's going to be like bacteria because you're not cooking the other side?"
That's not really what happened, Grant. You are full of it.
No, that is true.
I'm just telling you how I learned how to make sunny side. They're just a little different ways, different strokes for
I mean-
different folks.
I mean, the king of breakfast food has biscuits and gravy as the side, as
Okay,
a
Evan.
value dollar menu.
Who's the king
No,
of breakfast?
My
food?
beverage.
Waffle House.
Oh,
So Evan took
right. How could I
black.
forget?
Evan took black hot coffee.
No,
Yes.
Evan took.
I took
Coffee.
black coffee.
Black coffee.
No, I don't like the way how you're talking right now.
You can do it. I don't give a shit.
What are you
You already
about to do?
lost. His team stinks so much that you can just give it to him.
Cinnamon
My
roll boy.
team, you still would enjoy my meal, Evan, thoroughly. You would need a cinnamon roll, some sausage links, and eggs.
I would get what? Okay, cinnamon roll, eggs.
Sausage links, some eggs.
I'm not a sausage links guy. I'm out on sausage links.
You're a loser.
I mean, I'll eat them, but I'm not picking them.
I would like to have a vanilla iced coffee for my drink.
Fine.
Thank you.
You want to talk about?
If you guys are going to cheat, I'm going to cheat. Vanilla iced coffee.
You know how you're like, oh, that biscuits and gravy feels bad as a side dish? That felt bad. You saying it, but
It does.
for those,
I would
for
never
those-
have picked that if that all didn't happen, I would never have picked it. I was going to pick
Those-
apple juice, but I was like vanilla iced coffee.
Then you have the runs for an hour. Same
Apple
with
juice
coffee,
is
though.
good though.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's a pretty good drink.
You made a better pick. It's a sus pick, but you made a better pick.
Oh, I agree. Vanilla iced coffee is way better.
All right. To wrap up my team with meat is
It's diced ham.
do I
Cute.
step
Spam.
do I step on Alex's toes and take his pick's cousin, or
Take sausage patties. Those are terrible.
or do I
No
take
one likes sausage patties.
do I take
No,
a
sausage patties are elite.
Oh,
do I take a cult favorite that I personally love? I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think I already
Spam.
lost this draft. I'm taking corned beef hash. When it's right, it's electric. You put ketchup on it. It's so good. You guys,
that's so aggressive. That's
You
like what
guys
you
have
order
hand
at
up.
Flapjack.
Hand up. Grant ordered
I ordered a lot.
whatever that plate was, and I
Oh,
looked
yeah.
over at it and I said, "That plate looks phenomenal," and I was jealous of it. I was jealous of Grant's order.
Let's give a plug to that. What was that place called in East Lansing?
Flapjacks.
Flapjack.
Flapjacks. Oh, sorry. Flapjacks. Yeah, their corned beef hash. I used to always get it when I was at the Big Boy Breakfast Bar, which I hope is back. It got shut down because of COVID. But go in there after football Fridays,
Been there a while.
Saturday mornings after film. You just got ripped
10
by
votes
Coach.
on this biscuit and gravy already.
You just got absolutely ripped by Coach Romano in film. What do you need to get over it? Corned beef hash. So I stuck with my guns there. It feels good.
It's a tight
Evan?
race on this vote.
Evan, what, you have one pick left? What do you have to finish?
That's it.
I have my sweet item. I can
Oh,
go
yes.
any direction because I live off the sweet items.
Can I say
Stupid
this?
is.
Can I say this?
Pancakes and syrup.
Wait. Can I say this real quick? It's kind of crazy that Evan waited till the end for a sweet, because when I think about sweet breakfast guys, Evan's at the top. Evan loves sweet breakfast items.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I just have so many options now.
His knowledge is so deep.
I lost my number one. I lost 1A.
Mhm.
So I just got the best of everything else. And now I just don't want to mess this one up.
That's such an aggressive thing to say.
So Evan would have taken cinnamon roll number one overall.
I would have taken bacon and then cinnamon roll, and then I would have skipped out on coffee.
Yeah, Grant making fun of me for your diced potatoes dish that you
Home
took
fries.
first. Diced potatoes with some pepper.
When you say diced potato, it sounds bad. Home fry.
Diced
There's
potatoes.
different ones that I want right now, but I just. I'm just gonna go with the generic. I'm gonna go with a Waffle House waffle. It is sweet. It is perfect. It is fluffy. Alex, it is sweet, bro.
I'm putting an Eggo waffle on the graphic. I'm just
No, I'll change it. I'll change it to like
Dude,
any generic.
no waffle.
This
Yeah,
is
waffle
just.
plate.
Those are main dishes.
Alex,
What?
it is a sweet item.
It's a sweet item.
Because
did you
you're
think it
using
meant?
syrup?
What? Okay, name a sweet item to you that's not cinnamon roll.
Coffee cake?
What?
That has. I was gonna pick that. I could have picked that. I could pick muffins.
Alex,
That's bread.
all right,
You're eating bread.
Alex, for future
Donuts?
drafts, if you're confused, going, oh my god,
No one
I
picked
didn't even write
donuts.
that down. That's a great pick.
I have it on my list, but
I didn't even write that. But no, Alex, in future references, if you're confused about a category, you should just ask, like, give me an example. Because, like, when I said sweet item, and I think Evan's brain went there, it's so obvious. It's just, like, any
I thought
pastry
about that
type.
stuff, but I was like,
Any-
but waffles and pancakes are not
so you
pastries.
really thought there was only one sweet item and it was cinnamon roll.
No,
and
I thought there
whoever
was
got it
several
won.
pastries. I just
But, like,
thought pancakes
sweet
and
item-
waffles seems dirty.
The sweet item can be a main dish. It's just sweet. It's a sweet item. It's not a side
Cinnamon roll
dish. It's
can be
just
a main
sweet.
dish.
Because you're putting syrup on all of it, and you can't draft syrup because that's We didn't have a miscellaneous category. So it's going to be sweet. Everyone knows if I'm getting the sweet thing, you're going to order a waffle, a French toast, a cinnamon roll.
There's like 2 ways you can do your breakfast. You can do it the generic, eggs and meat. Or
Good
you can
news
pick the
is
sweet, or you can
that
pick French
biscuits
toast
and
or something
gravy,
like
a
that.
side dish? No.
Relax.
16
news
votes
is-
in? No.
Relax. Cool. Or the key to be the breakfast hero is a tip from Big Cat is that you order a plate of like pancakes or French toast for the table, and everyone, like, all right, we're just gonna get a sweet in the middle because everyone wants a little sweet, but usually you don't want to commit to it as your main meal. You want a little substance to your breakfast. Were there any snubs, honorable mentions, donuts we mentioned? That didn't go.
Wow. Someone just quoted the tweet. It's very funny.
I thought hash brown patty could have been a play, but the hard part about that is really only McDonald's does them right. So you're kind of like
I was gonna say it's
boxing
only
yourself
McDonald's.
in. But those are better than almost any other type of potato, honestly, when they make them all greasy. Sausage patty. Sausage patty did not go.
I was thinking one of you were going to take bacon with one of the first 2 picks, and I would have loved to take sausage patty.
Okay, yeah. You'd have been privileged to take it.
Yes, I would.
Pancakes. Are pancakes not hot anymore?
I just thought.
I have just found myself to fall in love with just a waffle, a solid Belgian waffle. I need the crevices in it.
Tell the people
and
the truth. You've fallen in love with Waffle House waffles.
They do the best waffle. Their batter and their sweetness to their perfectly cooked waffle every single time. Can't compete.
I had 2 Eggo waffles on Monday morning. First time in like several years.
Can't compete.
Sweet item, Pop-Tart. That would have been a throwback.
Pop-Tart. Toaster strudel.
A little dirty
Toaster
breakfast.
strudel.
Well,
French
just
toast sticks.
Really just the...
French
those
toast sticks, solid.
The cinnamon
French
bites
toast
from
sticks.
Burger King back in the day.
Fish sticks.
You know.
It's my favorite breakfast.
Timbits.
I said
Timbits.
donuts.
Did any of you think about doing a mimosa or Bloody Mary for the beverage and go back
I
to
was
I thought Alex was
scrambling
going
and
to go
that-
Bloody Mary.
I was
thought
scrambling
Alex
and that was
gonna
going to
go
be
Bloody
my
Mary.
thing. Yeah, I was going to go.
But
with that.
Luke bullied him last time for Bloody Mary, so I think that rattled him off his
You either
cage.
love him or you hate him. That's kind of how that goes.
Yeah.
I love them.
I don't think we're missing really anything else other than that.
Well, yeah, we are. Spam.
Muffins.
Dude, spam is high quality.
Ham's a legit meat, but it's more just put into omelets than like
Neither
on its own.
you guys aren't grits fans.
No.
Not
Weird
a texture thing for me.
oatmeal.
I do
Oatmeal
like
is
oatmeal.
very solid.
Would it be an
Granola?
absolute like nerd?
Oh, oatmeal's the main
comp?
dish then, Alex.
Maybe that'd be another debate.
Haven't found a loophole.
Depends how much oatmeal you have. If you're getting a McDonald's
Depends how
oatmeal,
much
they're very
biscuits and
small.
gravy you have.
Oh my god, I want to go eat breakfast now.
You're not gonna put one biscuit on your plate and pour some gravy on it, Evan.
Millions of people do that every single day.
Evan, the Twitter won't lie to us. Okay.
I'm gonna get.
All
it
right,
on,
Alex.
I'm gonna get it on
Saturday morning
Instagram,
when
too.
we were eating breakfast, how
Did
many
I have
biscuits
the
and gravy
side
you
of
had?
sausage biscuits and gravy?
I did.
Yes,
Well,
I did. too.
my chunky self.
I
I
was
got 2
very
biscuits
hungry.
each. I got 2 biscuits.
Same.
I saw everyone else that went before me. They grabbed 1 biscuit and put a ladle of gravy on it.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, when I win the draft, you're just upset.
I just think there's an asterisk.
Evans
You
for
got
sure winning
2
this
really
draft,
good
I
main
think.
meals.
What's my other main meal?
Well, you got eggs, you got meat, you got coffee.
Because that's the main meal.
All right.
Kind of eggs you have over easy does pair really nicely. If someone just made a plate of Evan's breakfast, of course it would win.
Guys,
It's like a
you're
dream
talking about
breakfast,
the breakfast
bowl.
king right here. The breakfast king. You guys gave me the
Evan's
win.
horrible at sports drafts and good at food drafts. This is how
Yeah.
it goes.
You gave me this win. You
This is
personally
his
gave me
niche.
this win.
I honestly picked my first pick trying to screw you over, and it backfired.
Backfired.
But
hard.
Evan's key is that he just goes for it when risking to get vetoed, whereas Alex like gets a little scared. But as we learned, you should just send it and then get vetoed if it's too egregious.
Yeah, I just guess I need to stop playing by the rules and cheat like you guys.
Whoa.
Start rattling them off.
Nobody's
I've won some
cheating.
drafts.
Hey, we gave you coffee.
We
so
gave
be
you
happy.
iced coffee.
You
That
had
was really
to.
dirty and gross.
You had to give me that.
We did not.
Grant skipped iced coffee to pick orange juice because he knew he wasn't.
Listen, I
He wasn't
picked
gonna pick
orange
coffee.
juice before I picked coffee.
As a man of integrity, when Evan said coffee, I eliminated all coffees from my list. It was just going to be orange juice or bust.
Breaking news, I'm going to the diner at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, so I will tell you if I get sausage, biscuits, and gravy as a side.
Yeah, send a picture out on the account. Let's just let the people see what you're eating.
Post
there.
it out, say, hey, I'll have the runs in 30 minutes.
All right. That is episode 81. Start of college football, food, Faster Horses recap. All around great show. I feel like I say it almost every single time, but support it at ShotOfMS everywhere. 2,000 followers on Twitter now, getting close to it on Instagram. Slowly climbing. We'll be at Big Ten Media Days soon, like Evan said.
Oh my gosh.
No, we
it's
were
a
there.
matter.
Dude.
It's a
Evan and I were there.
And then YouTube, Spotify, Apple, retweet it, share the link with a friend. Word of mouth, the best way to spread the podcast numbers, the growth. So that's it. Cheers to episode 81.
Cheers.
Cheers. Talk on.
Next time we might have a podcast, we might have a whole new Tigers team.